Good morning on the West Coast, good afternoon on the East Coast, and a very good evening to our friends overseas and especially in Armenia. My name is Silva Kachikyan, and I am a board member of the Armenian International Women's Association. And on their behalf, I welcome you to another of AWA's virtual events, where we share with you insight into current issues that are of concern and relative to our lives. These past months and weeks have definitely been painful and upending. As Armenians, we have been tested, angered, pulled, loosened, and tightened from all ends. Our world of certainties and entitlements has been rocked and shattered. Yet, in spite of the many challenges that these months have presented, AWA remains active with an appreciation of our shared history, our commonality of goals, our commitment to positively impact the present and to lead unified into the future. For 30 years, AWA's mission has been uniquely simple. We connect and elevate Armenian women globally. And in our collective wisdom, we value the contributions of others and organizations who articulate our vision of creating a sustainable future for nations and for the homeland. Today, we share with you one such organization, the Homeland Development Initiative Foundation, HDIF, a social enterprise that creates sustainable jobs in Armenia, especially among rural women. And with us today from HDIF are founder Timothy Strait, USA Director Beth Brusalian, and Baird Women's Resource Center founder Anahid Badalian. A warm welcome to you, dear guests. And today's discussion is initiated and hosted by the leadership of AWA's San Francisco affiliate, chaired by Laura Dirtadyan. Just a quick reminder to all our attendees, please type in your questions in the Q&A option for easier reference throughout the session, and we will try to get to all of them. Once again, welcome guests, and Laura, the virtual podium stage is yours.
Thank you, Silva. First, Tim, Beth, and Anahi, I want to personally thank you for all of the work and dedication in which you each do for our people and for our country. I think we can never say enough thank yous. And I know that many of us here in the United States, as well as across the globe, are working our hardest to support and help everything that is happening in Armenia. And I look forward to this conversation and how we can further our help and our participation in making our country strong and unified. I want to first start this conversation. Organizations have been established, I think is also really important. And so, Tim, I'm going to start with you. And if you can take about, let's say, a quick, maybe 3 to 4 minutes to establish, and then I can move forward and ask some additional probing questions.
Sure. I mean, I've lived in Armenia since September of 2000. So I've seen all the ups and downs. And as the honorary consul of both Norway and Finland in Armenia, it was very early on that I noticed that I was reporting regularly to Helsinki and Oslo on problems of emigration, of poverty, of domestic violence, of stunting in children, and many other social problems. Having a background in product development, I started asking NGOs in Armenia if they would be interested in an organization that would design products that could be produced using traditional skills in Armenia, and then we would market them. And they all unanimously said yes. And so at the time, in 2010, when this organically started, NGOs were not allowed to sell anything. The law has changed recently. But so we started working through American Peace Corps volunteers, actually, starting in Goris and then up in Baird, to start production units for various products, mostly crochet, knitting, and so forth and so on. And we've been working away at it. We formalized in 2013, and for the past 7 years, we've been developing our exports, developing our domestic sales. And then along came 2020, and everything changed for everybody in the world with the pandemic. with the July skirmishes and then the full-out war in September, October, November. And so this has been a roller coaster of a year for us all. I can mention, continuing, I forgot where.
We'll move on to, if we can have, we'll have Beth do an introduction and then we'll go round robin. Go ahead.
So I'm Beth Restigan-Brusalian, and I have been involved in projects in Armenia for many, many years. And those projects kind of led me to Tim. His Facebook page really drew me in to the work that HDIF was doing. And so I was, you know, one of their best buyers, one of their best customers for a while. And then I approached Tim to say, you know, I have sort of this opening in my schedule, and what can I do? I'd love to work with you. And so, long story short, I founded HDIF USA to be the official distributor of HDIF products in the United States. And I established a board of directors, and we, you know, became a 501c3, and that's kind of, you know, how we operate. And so this happened in 2017. So the past 3 years, we've been basically working to advance the mission of HDIF, which is, and beyond that, as HDIF USA, to create access to an international platform, to allow the Armenian artisans to have access to a greater international platform. And in particular, the women that HDIF works with are traditionally unable to participate in global commerce. And so we kind of looked at HDIF USA as a pathway for them to, for the products to get out of Armenia and into people's hands, and to open up global commerce for all of the producer partners.
Okay. Thank you. And Anahit.
Hello, I'm Anahit from Berd, Davush. It's a border region located in the northern area of Armenia. So we established Berd Women's Resource Center in 2011 with the concrete aim of supporting local women living in border communities of Berd. And since then, the challenges were mainly regarding with unemployment, because after Soviet Union collapse and conflict situation, number one problem was unemployment. And we as a social enterprise are mainly focused on solving unemployment problem, unemployment issue of women. And we have worked with HDIF together already 9 years with 2 major and 2 more sustainable projects called Berd Bear, which aim is to educate women, to give them more skills of handicraft and sell their products. And the other project called Berd Berry, which aim is to support farmer women to produce berries and to sell through BWRC. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
I think what I'd like to do is so that everyone can have an opportunity. If you haven't had the chance, I'm actually going to share my screen, and I'm going to share really quickly each of your websites and the types of products in which some of your participants and some of these women do. And so right now I'm on the HDIF website USA. I have to say that I actually had a lot of fun this week as I was doing research. I know what I'm going to be doing for Christmas and what sort of Christmas gifts I'm going to be getting. And so here's an idea of the types of arts and crafts in which some of these women do. And as it relates to Berd, I believe here are some of the teddy bears in which they do. Also wonderful, great Christmas gifts, right?
Yeah, by the way, we have cooperated with Armenian International Women's Organization, giving them specialized bears with IVA logo. And our cooperation just started last year with Rachel Najarian. So thank you, IVA, for hosting this amazing event and support us in this way.
Of course, of course. This is all such important work. You know, I think many of these organizations have been established for quite some time, anywhere from, you know, the past 3 years to, I would say, close to 15 years. And so what would you say prior to, let's say, 2020, which has been a doozy of a year, have been some of your biggest challenges, and how has that changed since 2020? What are you guys seeing on the ground? I'm going to go ahead and start with Anahit first, and we'll go back.
You know, despite of the challenges, 2020 was very hectic year for us and for HDIF, because we never stopped working and we had our plans in 2019. And although the plans were changed a little bit, but anyway, what we have planned before, we follow the plans. Our goal was to establish an eco center in border town of Berd, which was unbelievable in somehow, because you know, it's an isolated community with conflict, tense situation, with high migration, unemployment, etc. And establishing of an eco center was in somehow a big challenge for us. But in 2020, we almost are done with eco center. Like, we have now finished production center, and we produced almost 8,000 jars of berry jams, and plus handicrafts, teddy bears, Christmas ornaments, etc. So let's say we hadn't time to focus on our daily challenges on border situation, and we thought that our survival, let's say, is hardworking, double hardworking. And so what's the plan about 2021? I don't know. There are so many frustrations, disappointments, etc. Like, morally, we are exhausted and somehow, but physically, we are now working harder than before, and we had to work harder and harder. So I see the solution is only to work harder than before. I can't see anything else.
I understand. And we're here to support you. I think that's important to know. We as the diaspora, especially me. So Beth, why don't we move to you?
You know, our challenges, we've only been in existence for 3 years. So we've had a variety of challenges. In the beginning, the challenge was just to let people know that we're out there. That you can buy HDIF products in the US. And a lot of what I did in the beginning was go to festivals and go to church events and you know, be present at different events where I could, you know, showcase the products and people could touch them and see them and really understand how beautiful they are, and that they're not only just made in Armenia, but they're really gorgeous, professionally made products that anyone would love to have in their home or give as a gift. So there was that curve of, you know, just getting name recognition, and we kind of built that up, and we were really primed to take off in 2020. You know, we had lots of Armenian organizations ordering a lot of wholesale items, you know, large quantities for big events that they were having. And of course, that came to a screeching halt. And so we had several months that were very, very quiet. And then I launched a Christmas in July campaign in July, and that was very, very well received, and we got a lot of really great activity from that. And I think that the skirmishes that took place in Tavush, you know, had people noticing more that they should be investing in Armenia, and they should be investing in you know, job creation and putting women to work, and our message and our mission really started resonating with people. And then after the war started, then we kind of pivoted to Buy Armenia, a Buy Armenia message. And that message has also resonated a great deal with people. And a lot of you have seen on Facebook that there's a Buy Armenian Facebook page that has thousands and thousands of members now. And, you know, we try to maintain a strong presence in all of the arenas where people are focusing on supporting businesses in Armenia and organizations in Armenia that are helping people in a humanitarian way.
Okay, so I'm hearing, Beth, that everyone on this call should also go to Facebook and friend Buy Armenian and get some resources and get an idea of what sort of wonderful products there are out there.
Oh my goodness, yes. Buy Armenian has a plethora of different, you know, different items that can be purchased, either products that are found in the US or products that are, you know, are found in Armenia. So yeah.
Wonderful. Tim.
Yeah, it's, my head is about to burst with everything that's happened this year, and it's really hard to think what our plans were for 2020. That seems like ancient history already. But focusing a bit on the relationship between HDIF USA and BWRCF and Baird and ourselves, it's a really tight woven partnership through, as Anahit mentioned, 9 years now. And that I mean, for example, that eco center that Anahit mentioned, the original funding for buying the property was a cooperation between HDF USA and BWRCF and other donors, and so that's ongoing. There's a great relationship there. And then when the July things happened up at the border, the fighting going on up there, then Anahit came to Yerevan, and we had a small discussion at a cafe here in Yerevan, and she said, Tim, you know, we have a budget of producing 8,000 jars of jams and jelly and honey this year, and can we work together on marketing that? And I'm just looking at a note on the bottom of my computer screen here, and of those 8,000 jars, they only have, you have less than 3,000 jars left, don't you, Anahit? So we've moved tons of jams and jelly made in Baird by Anahit and her gaggle of hardworking women up there, and much of it has gone to donations through our website, and then donated to Armenian Progressive Youth here, who are distributing to women and children from Artsakh. So this is an incredible spider web of incredibly good intention, incredible amounts of trust, incredible amounts of hard work and goodwill. And we've moved tons of jams and jelly. We're making lots of things now. Is it now the time to show it? I don't know, but we're
Sure.
making all kinds of hats and little kitty mittens and scarves, and these are all made by HDF Armenia producer partners, and Anahit is involved in that as well, because BWRCF up in Baird is knitting bear hats. Where'd my bear hat go? It's here somewhere, but making bear hats and bear scarves up there. Then the hat that I just showed you is made by actually a group of about 30 women up in Goghovit, a small village above Gyumri, led by a woman with a very serious disability. Then we have another group over in Martuni town on this side of Lake Sivan, who are also making hats, knitting hats. And so we've got 4 or 5 groups going on that are knitting like crazy all over the country in order to provide through donations made on our website, and then donated to the women and children from Artsakh. So everybody's reaching out to everybody, basically, is what I'm trying to say. We're trying to keep our producer partners gainfully employed. There's over 200 women who are supported by us through our buying their products, and we're all just trying to help each other out and support each other. And maybe you can source that with them. And then the whole Buy Armenia thing that Beth was talking about, on top of that, people are really looking for, today I got an inquiry from the East Coast of the US for 1,000 winter jackets insulated jackets. And I happened to know somebody who had mentioned to me of a little organization, clothing company here in Yerevan, that was making on a voluntary basis sleeping bags for the soldiers at the front line. And that stuck with me. And then somebody said, well, we need winter clothing for kids. And I said, well, you made sleeping bags. Can you make vests for the kids? And so she's already making vests for us. A couple hundred of them we've ordered already to donate to the kids from Artsakh. And then that inquiry comes in today. Tim, do you know anybody who can make 1,000 winter jackets? And I said, well, here's a vest. We can put arms on it. And they said, great. They're off and flying. So this is this incredible networking that's going. I could babble about that for hours.
So, you know, I think when I'm hearing, I'm very much a process person, especially with what I do in my career. And also I do risk for a living as well. And what I'm hearing right now, and I think maybe some of our audience would like to understand, let's say hypothetically, I would like to buy, and by the way, I think I'm going to buy some jam if I can buy some jam. I'm going to, so if I would like to buy jam and my money goes to HDIF, that money then will go to help employ the women that are actually making the jams, and that will also help with the materials and purchasing, and then also enabling them to actually somewhat run their own business. Is that a fair kind of procedural way of how this all works?
Anahit can testify to this, that yes, they do all the hard work. They go up on the mountain and pick the berries. They source the labels. They source the jars, the lids. They do all the making. We're a marketing organization, and so we take a few crates. You see those crates in the background right there? Those empty.
That's what those one boxes.
Those used to be full of jam and jelly that have been sold over through our website and donated to the Artsakh women and children through Armenian Progressive Youth. And the spiderweb got a bit more complicated there, but that's exactly what we do. And what we're trying to do is say, don't buy imported goods. If it's able to be sourced here in Armenia, buy it here in Armenia. And then on top of that, we're trying to say, we're a certified guaranteed fair trade organization. We want our products to be made under fair trade terms, right? The fair wage, the good working conditions, no child labor, and so forth and so on. And so we've got 5 or 6 of our producer groups, including Anahit, busy right now producing things that are going to go to the Artsakh relief effort. And that will be whether they return or they stay in Armenia. That's their free choice what they do. It's just, and so we're very much on board with all of these efforts and just trying to facilitate. Beth facilitates us, it helps us get the word out, get the products out. Anahit delivers to us, produces for us, and we support her campaign, she supports our campaigns, and that's just a little part of this total network that we have going on here.
Yeah, let me just add one thing, that our products are really very high, has very high quality. Like they are quite popular, and those customers who bought once, they definitely want to buy the next time. Like for the jams, they have a very low sugar content and can be used by diabetics as well. And handicrafts, they are quite high quality products, 100% handmade. It's not just an advertisement, but I just want to say that products follow like quality control, and they are really popular. We just need to spread the market and somehow to support more families, to support more refugee kids, and this is our nowadays goal, to support as much families as possible.
So we are getting some questions in the Q&A. And Nelly Del Carrerian, hi, actually said that HDIF is one of Armenia's best kept secrets. How can we work together to get the word out about HDIF and its many effective projects to support, especially women in remote villages? So what can we do to promote?
I think the other two could help us with that. Tell me how to do that. No, we've been, I mean, we have a very heavy presence, high profile on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and we're well known in the organizational world. The website, I have the Shopify app, and it keeps me up at night because the visitors bars are popping up and down on the screen and everything. That's not to say it's good enough. I mean, we have a big challenge to get the word out, to get the production up. Already our plans for 2021, because our entire production was utilized in 2020, despite the pandemic and despite the war. And so already I had a board meeting last night. Beth is actually on our board, and I'm on Anahit's board. and so so the plans for 2021 are, how can we up the ante on production? How can we produce more of what we already produce? And we know there is a market for Anahit's baby rattles, Anahit's jams and jellies, all the other great products we have from Vartanis and Gyumri and Tallinn and everywhere else that we're producing in the country. We need to produce more. We need to have professional skills, how to calculate a price, how to plan production, how to sourcing of materials, how do you meeting deadlines, communication. If you're going to be late, tell us so we can tell the client. Our exports are booming, and we need to increase our production capacity, and we want to employ, I don't know, I'm hoping twice as many women in 2021 than we do today. And the need for that is going to be that much more next year because of the war and because of the evacuees that are in Armenia and because of the pandemic. So we have our work cut out for us. We want to grow dramatically. We're going to grow. We're going to meet our very ambitious budget this year. So we're really, really enthusiastic about the future. As desperate as the situation is, we think it just underlines the importance of what we're doing, of what Beth is doing, of what Anahit is doing, and what all of our other producer partners are doing. We have to do, as Anahit said, we have to do it more and better and just work hard. And we need you guys. We need the diasporans out there in every way, shape, and form, and to get the word out. And go on to Beth's website. You just go on to hdif.org. hdif.org, and then at the top you can click on shop in Armenia or shop in the United States. It's as easy as that. And then place your order, and then we follow it up. We have a series of Christmas ornaments that I put up in November, and I'm thinking, can we sell Christmas ornaments in the middle of a war? Well, this Buy Armenia wave took those Christmas ornaments, and we're sold out basically. So it's just been a whirlwind of a year. We need your help to put, when you get a package from HDIF, from Beth or from us, put a picture on social media, talk about us, get it out there, tell your neighbors, send it as gifts, and include the little information thing that we send with the product, with that gift that you're giving, so they know where it's made and who made it. I'm really open to other ideas on how to get the search engine optimization going, because yes, we need to get the word out there.
Okay, people are asking from where they can buy our gems. Let me clarify a little bit. You know that in Armenia, we always had a PayPal issue. So we have a website, actually, it's bwrc.am, but for online purchases, online sales, PayPal always creates problems. So you can buy our gems through HDIF's website. I put the link here.
And many of you are actually asking for different websites that we're referencing. We will make sure that we post this either on the AWA International website. We will also be emailing all of these websites to you. So many of you are asking for it, which is so great. So we will get all of that to you.
Yeah, the problem is that we have our local website, like updating very frequently, and it's somehow informational because of this PayPal issue. But online sales is possible through HDIF's link we have provided already. And another question was from where the yarn is purchased. I will definitely say that we denied to buy Turkish yarn 3 years ago, 4 years ago, not just now. And the yarn is imported from China, although we are trying to find a local producer who can produce Armenian yarn. But the problem is Armenian yarn is woolen, and sometimes it is allergic and has some side effects. The best choice for us to import the yarn from China right now till we found a local Armenian producer from whom we can purchase the yarn.
So one of the things in which I heard you say, Tim, is around scalability. And how do we actually also teach some of these small business owners, for intensive purposes, how do you actually calculate and the such? How is all of that done? I'm very curious about that. And then how can we actually help that in order to be able to help the scalability?
Scaling up is one of the hardest parts of business. Going from a small business to a medium-sized business is a big change in the way you do things and leadership and how it's done. And so we're seeing several of our producer partners that can scale up easily. If it's a machine-based production, then it's easier. Sewing machines, you can buy another machine and those skills can be trained. You need a bigger space, you need more machines, you can scale up. But if you're going to produce 10 times more sewn items, you have to make sure that the market is there to absorb the product. You have to make sure that your price point is right, that your design is right, that the market wants it. And that's exactly where we are right now, to take our small production units and try to scale them up. We want to scale up Gyumri, we want to scale up Koch, we could probably scale up one side of Tallinn. Anahit has been working with 35 women who crochet. Is that a correct number these days?
Crocheters and knitters together is almost 14.
Yeah, almost 40. And so, for example, Anahit has taken in women from Artsakh already, as have 3 of our other producer partners. So that's people asking, are you employing women from Artsakh? And well, our producer partners are doing it spontaneously because it's the right thing to do. So we're really encouraged and happy to be buying these hats from Anahit that are being made up there. And yeah, the handmade thing, the crochet products, that cannot be done by machine. You can't buy another machine and do more of it. So it's about human capital and getting more women in. One thing I've learned this year, or was it last year actually, is that I thought crochet you had to learn when you were very small, and then it's in your wrist, the way tennis is in your wrist. And but the women in Martuni, we started a new group making egg warmers. Yeah, those are not used in the US, but they're very big in Northern Europe. A little funny thing that you put on your boiled in Norway and Finland on your egg in the morning to make it funny, a little bunny at Easter and things. And so they were actually learning how to crochet to make those egg warmers. And that surprised me, that women in a grown age can actually learn how to crochet. So it's about, there's no such thing as a crocheting factory. Crochet is done at home because you need to take care of the kids and make the food for the family. And then once a week or twice a week, you come to the office and deliver what you finished, and you get new yarn depending on the orders, and you go home. That's a little bit more difficult to scale up. Anahit, what can you say about that?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
You don't make anything using a machine almost. You have a couple sewing machines, but it's almost all knitting and crochet.
Yeah.
What do you need to scale up in Baird? Do you need knitting machines or more women to knit or more women to crochet?
I don't think that we need machines because it's a handmade. those people who visit us, they are always asking, is it knitted truly, or is it done with machine? Because it's somehow very perfectly done. And we are saying proudly that it's 100% handmade product, and we don't want machines, because you are putting a worm inside of the product. And there is a phrase that when the women has a high mood, the bear is smiling. When they haven't mood, the bear is not smiling. And you know, this is very important details for me. I don't want any machine. I just want more women to be involved in our group, and more handmade beautiful products to be made.
What is the, and what is the hinder, or is there a pool of women waiting to work?
Yes, of course, we have a women group in Moses, including 3 women who came from border to border, Artsakh women. And the issue is that you need to have a concrete plan of coming orders to include more women. Like, you can't produce more and wait. You just need to plan very carefully how much you are producing. Those quantity will be sold very soon, so your women will be paid. You can't just hire the women and wait until the products will be sold. But I mean, this year we haven't this kind of problems, because the orders were slowed down, and the women were few. The most problem is just your demand should, how to say, I will say in Armenian, պահանջարկն ու առաջարկը պետքա համարժեք լինեն իրար. Guess someone.
But I think the market needs to match the production.
Match the production.
Yes.
And so that's where Beth and we come into the picture.
So let's up the production.
Yeah. Means we need to up the demand, which is a marketing question, and reaching out to more people. And that's why we're saying, please support us in what we're trying to do.
Beth, you know, we got some questions here around around leveraging sites like Etsy or Bloomingdale's, or going to Bloomingdale's. Has there been any sort of effort or focus there?
Yeah, so we've really always had, you know, our dream would be to take these products into the retail spaces, and we are kind of we started that this year by creating a very comprehensive database of fair trade shops in the United States. And I've reached out to all the fair trade shops in the United States, and you know, we had one order, and I sent out a really great mailer, and came to really realize that I need to call each one of them and talk to their managers and really, you know, tell our story one-on-one. And so as Tim is saying, in terms of scaling up, I'd like to start scaling up with the fair trade in the fair trade world in the US, and start supplying them with our products. And then the next scale up would be at the much larger retail level. But I'm kind of afraid, to be honest with you, to scale up too many levels at once, because I'm not quite sure that you know, on the production side, we can meet the demand within the time period that you know, some of these retailers might be wanting. I mean, it's a whole different ball game when you are starting to work with the retail sector. But for sure, we are going to be going full blast in the fair trade sector, and trying to get our products into the fair trade. You know, there's hundreds of fair trade shops.
Can you explain what that is, just for edification purposes, on what is a fair trade shop? Because, for instance, we're getting some questions around, you know, are we able to sell these products in an Armenian grocery store? So how does that work? Just for purification purposes. My son, the sun is just blasting my face. Apologies. Yes.
Tim, I'll just maybe take this opportunity to sort of educate everyone about HDIF's fair trade status. So HDIF is a World Fair Trade guaranteed organization. In other words, it's certified fair trade by the World Fair Trade Organization. And it is the only organization, nonprofit organization in the former Soviet region with that status, and is the only organization that sells fair trade certified products in that region. And Tim, Tim was talking a bit about fair trade principles. Essentially, it's a much higher standard of production. And there's 10 principles of fair trade, and you need to be abide by those 10 principles of fair trade. And so when I make the calls to the fair trade shops around the US, which I have done, and I say, I'm calling to introduce you to a fair trade certified products from Armenia, they're like, wow, Armenia, that's so cool. We don't have anything from Armenia. That would be really great. We'd love to get something in. And so that's kind of, I'm telling the story that way. And people, really identify, fair trade shops really identify with that, knowing that that the products that we're selling are fair trade. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, just go back a little bit. Beth, you said, I'm afraid to increase too fast because we have production problems. And Anahit is saying, we don't have enough orders.
I know, but what I'm saying is that
we're in the middle. We're in the middle trying to make that happen on both ends.
If we were to get the fair, more fair trade orders, we would be super busy.
Yeah.
Super busy.
Just to say, what are our major markets? HDF Armenia, what are our major markets? Our biggest market is actually fair traders, and they are not Armenian. It's not like we only sell to Armenians. Germany, there's 2 fair trade organizations in Germany that buy from us. Our biggest client is in northern Germany. We have a fair trader in Switzerland. We have a commercial company, a non-fair trader, non-Armenian, a normal commercial company that just loves the quality and design and price of our products. We have a commercial person in New Zealand, Norwegians. I mean, it's a mix. I think the Armenian sales we have through Armenian channels is 40% of our total sales, maybe. I'm not sure. But then the pandemic came, and it was the Armenian community that stepped up to the plate. Have really stepped up to the plate with this Buy Armenian thing. And so this year in 2020, I'll be very curious at the end of the year to see how much of the pie chart is fair trade, how much is commercial, and how much is Armenian. And that's what we always look at to see if we should develop something for the Armenian world or something for the commercial world. And that's not always the same thing. I mean, a potholder with Mount Ararat on it is not very good for the commercial world.
So I do want to share that, and I think you guys know that AWA, the Armenian International Women's Association, is committed to making a donation to HDIF, and so we're very excited to do that. One question that came out also is, how are you guys working with other organizations such as AGBU and ARS in that, are you guys posting these products and the such, and partnering with these organizations as well?
I can jump in on that. I've had really great wholesale sales with Armenian organizations, and the policy at HDIF USA is to offer wholesale prices to Armenian churches, Armenian schools, Armenian organizations, Armenian museums, Armenian libraries, and basically the gamut. We also have resale prices, and kind of talking about selling in the Armenian grocery stores or through the John's Markets chain, or, you know, different companies like that. We have a variety of different price categories. Again, resale pricing, wholesale pricing, and then retail pricing, which would be, you know, on our e-commerce site. But yeah, I've been working really closely with a lot of Armenian organizations, but again, that a lot of their purchases are event based, and like I was saying earlier, we were just, you know, going, you know, full steam ahead with events and organizations and lots of great purchases coming in, and then COVID happened, and, you know, that was the end of that. And I'm really hoping that in 2021, you know, as the events start returning, as the festivals start returning, you know, as people get back to church, I mean, we're not even going to church at this point, that people will remember us and come back to us.
We just this week, or last week and this week, we've ARS in Chicago has contacted us. The equivalent of ANCA in Switzerland has contacted us and placed a concrete order. There's an Armenian church in Texas that is accumulating orders for us. We've cooperated with a lot of different organizations, and I see Ed Baikar is online. He's been a client of ours for many years, particularly for our items made in Vartanis, the potholders, oven gloves, and aprons. And so we delivered a bunch of face masks. By the way, face masks, oh my goodness, we have 3 of our producer partners churning out face masks as fast as they can. A box of 1,000 of them is going out to Germany next Monday, I think. And this is our mask. We've sold like 35,000 of those so far, and selling those all over the US as well. So we've all got our fingers out there, our networks going, and yes, we cooperate with anybody who wants to support these 3 great causes that we are here on the screen to do our business.
So I want to make sure I get to some of these questions. One of them is very befitting because I'm drinking tea right now because I'm losing my voice. And so one of them is around the Urts tea. So does HDIF have any contacts in tea makers or sellers? Say that again?
Yeah, actually, we sold a lot of urts and mint tea, and it depends on how many you would like to order. We have a small quantity in our preserve, so it can be provided.
Okay, good. There you go. We're being asked a question again around Etsy. You know, Etsy. Oh, see, look at that. Okay, I need that too. I'm getting so okay, great. Good to know. We are getting a couple of questions around, you know, marketing on Etsy, because Etsy is right where handcraft made goods are done. And I think it sounds like, Beth, from what I heard you say, is that at the moment we're working directly with organizations as well as the website directly, but at this time we're not working. You're not necessarily selling on Etsy. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement. You know, Etsy is sort of an animal of unto itself, and would require a lot more manpower than one person to handle that. And you know, we have really good sales through our e-commerce site and Shopify, and yeah, I mean, Etsy would be a great way to present the products to a greater audience, but right now, you know, I just don't have the capacity to manage that.
And from our perspective, we're interested in selling to distributors so we can produce 100, 500, 1,000 of one thing in order to be more effective in our production and have cheaper per unit cost in shipping and all of that stuff. So just this Swiss ANCA organization that has ordered 1,100 Christmas ornaments from us in one fell swoop. That's the kind of order we're interested in here in Armenia to get them effective. Because to move 20 Christmas ornaments from Koch to Yerevan or 1,000 Christmas ornaments from Koch to Yerevan is the same price. And so it's just about being effective in our production and delivery services.
Right, and if I can jump in and just kind of piggyback off of what Tim said, ultimately, I think that our goal at HDIF USA would be to, you know, not be selling 1 and 2 of things and be selling, you know, 1,000 and 2,000 of things. And so it would be, you know, ultimately that's kind of the direction that we want to go in, is to have a more robust wholesale and resale sales, and rather than relying on e-commerce.
Yeah, we have a supermarket in Belgium that just contacted us 2 weeks ago. They're going to devote 1 meter of shelf space through the year to different collections from HDIF. So we're delivering Christmas ornaments now. We're going to do Easter ornaments. This is not an Armenian market. It's a Belgian market, a wealthy Belgian market. And so 1 meter of shelf space, length, and Christmas ornaments and Easter ornaments, and then baby toys, and then other series of items on that 1 meter throughout the year, owned by Armenians.
Beautiful. So I'm going to close, and I'm going to look at, again, some of the questions are really asking about links and where to go and how can we share. And so we will definitely be posting all of this online. There you go. Way to be resourceful. There we go, Beth. We will make sure that all of this is posted online. And I'll make sure that we take note of it and make sure all of your questions are answered, and that you can share and purchase, especially for this upcoming holidays. But I want to close in saying, you know, this has been a very challenging year, especially over these past this past month or so. You know, I didn't put this in my question, but I guess what gives each of you hope for the future? I'm going to start with Anahi.
As every Armenian, my only hope is for peace. So let's hope for peace, because everything is depending on peace, really. I can't say more things, but I feel really that with war conditions, you can't think as a human. So let's hope for peace.
Thank you, Anahi. Tim?
I've been saying this for 20 years. The potential of the Armenian nation. It's very simple for me. This country can do so many amazing things. And it's a bad patch right now, a very bad patch. There's a lot of sorrow and anger and frustration in Armenia right now. But just the potential of this country is without bounds. And I still believe in that. And that's what gets me out of bed every morning. We can make this place so much better.
Beth?
What gives me hope is the younger generation. I see the younger generation here in Armenia is so savvy and so well educated and so inspiring, and our younger generation, likewise in the U.S., among, you know, the Armenian Americans, they're, you know, they're professionals, and they're community oriented, and they're environmentally conscious, and they give me a lot of hope.
I want to close also, and then I'll pass it over to Silva, in that, you know, I have hope as the granddaughter of a genocide survivor who obviously is here and speaking to all of you today. I'm super proud of organizations such as each of yours, and you all give me hope. And so thank you so much for your time today. I know it's very late, but thank you for all you're doing. Everyone, do some online shopping, some online therapy. Come on, we're all in lockdown still. Go buy 1,000 ornaments, go buy whatever you need and hand them out to all your neighbors. Silva, to you.
Thank you so much. You know, honestly, and what gives me hope is that to be able to empower a nation through the skills of women, ensuring their employment and their economic progress while producing these high quality products for the world, and everything else that you have said really gives me hope, because it is the people who will make this nation rise to their fullest potential. So I really want to personally thank all three of our panelists, Tim, Beth, Anahit. Now, if there ever was a time for the world to see how a women's organization such as AWA and a social enterprise like HDIF can make an impact, it would be this. With our common focus on education and skills development, job creations, economic growth, health and psychological well-being, cultural enhancement, and peace building, the coalition and vision that we share are just the beginning of what we can all do and achieve together. Now, at present, our joint focus is on the well-being of displaced families of Artsakh, and AWA is committed to supporting the efforts HDIF is conducting in Armenia and the cities along her border regions. And we ask all our listeners and AWA families to support us in strengthening the homeland together on this constructive, peaceful, humanitarian journey toward renewal. Please go to the websites. You will be informed of the websites, each individual website through a post letter that you will receive. And also you will be receiving a recording of this, all the attendees will, and you will feel free to pass them around. And if you do have any other questions, always connect with AWA International. And we would be happy to answer your questions. I also want to thank our host, Laura Dirtadian, AWA San Francisco affiliate, and to her leadership team. They helped bring awareness to the work of HDIF, made in Armenia by Armenian women for Armenians and for the global population as part of the World Fair Trade Organization. And a huge thank you to all our attendees and listeners across the globe, because you need to look out for future AWA events and follow us on Facebook and Instagram to see what impact we will be making. And if you're not yet a member of AWA, we encourage you to join, and through our website, awainternational.org, join, become a part of an active online community of a global network of women, and share our values. Our values are integrity, respect, inclusivity, service, and relevance. So wherever you are across the globe, stay well, stay safe, stay informed, stay relevant. Until next time. And thank you all again. We will be in touch.